Before we begin this video, ladies and gentlemen, I first want to give a massive congratulations to the members of the EastEnders Reddit page, because the comments that the people leave on my posts that I put on the EastEnders Reddit, I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, for those concerned, you are an absolute credit to yourselves. And I sincerely look forward to continuing to read your comments so that we can call out the bullshit that is modern day EastEnders. We will continue in the fact that we're not going to put up with that kind of bullshit, and even though EastEnders likes to pretend their shit doesn't stink like anyone else's, we can see, or rather smell, right through it. So, to the people of EastEnders Reddit, I congratulate all of you, and I look forward to hearing more from your voices very much in the future. Thank you. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome all of you back to another Rage video, where tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in 3.5 months, I'm actually wearing the jacket for my videos. I'm wearing the shades. I feel like it's like getting the band back together, because we've just about approached the that stage of the year where it's actually kind of cool enough, not just in the evenings but in the daytime, to actually wear this this beauty again, my second skin. I feel, you know what I feel, ladies and gentlemen? Let me tell you exactly why I did this video tonight. It's because what is it, the 12th of August, I got paid on the 11th, and I feel it's that feeling you always get where you feel as if, like, you know what, now that you got paid, you feel very good about yourself. You feel as if you're like you've just earned £1 million, and all of a sudden you feel confident, you feel cocky. But in my case, ladies and gentlemen, it's certainly at this stage of my life, I've got to start thinking even more long term than possible, because money, like the money I earn from work and all that, doesn't come, every day. It's through graft and hard work, and it's everything else in between. There's no doubt, ladies and gentlemen, if I could make a job from doing what I'm doing right now, I would literally be working all the hours God send. That's a fact, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm a grafter. I'm a member of the working class. I work, and if I don't work, then I starve to death. That's basically the end of it. You took my only food. Now I'm gonna starve. But it'll probably be at least a good 5 or 4 months before that happens, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you that. And that's kind of why I wanted to do Can't Tell Me Nothing. Because Kanye in the late noughties was the guy I just couldn't get away from hearing. And there's a lot I always want to say about Kanye, because he is no word of a lie, ladies and gentlemen. I looked up to Kanye probably a lot more than I did for anyone else who was sort of who was trending back in 2009, like Lady Gaga or Take That. I like some of Take That's music, but I don't like the people involved. Well, I don't like Gary. Not many people like Gary anyway. Who else? Black Eyed Peas, Rihanna, Calvin Harris. A lot of bangers, certainly from when I was starting to listen to pop music, and Kanye would be among them, including a young Taylor Swift. But I would, rather than talking about it, I'm going to start listening to it, and then we can talk about it, because this song slaps over 11 years later, and I'm gonna just talk you through it, ladies and gentlemen, about what it means to me, because Kanye has this uncanny ability to unintentionally bring some real hard life lessons to all of us. And I say unintentional, but you know what? Part of me thinks that I might be wrong, and I think he means every word of it. Without wanting, to toot his own horn too much, I think he's one of the most genuine people I think I can remember hearing from the first time I did this. So, and if you're unfamiliar to Kanye, or you think I'm chatting absolute bullshit, then fair enough. So, but again, This is all opinion based, and you're about to see why. So, if you guys want to check out the original video for yourselves, links will all be in the description below. Let's begin. In fact, the only thing that I'm like not wearing for I'm actually gonna wear this, you know, for this video as well, because you know what, I think it's just like part of my identity. It's part of like this new image. I'm gonna put my curb chain on, just because, you know what, it's just sort of like who I am now. It's just someone who's like decked out at this as the biker mice from Mars. I'm never gonna get tired of calling myself that. I'm not joking. And how do you even get this stupid thing to get on? There we go. Job done. I've been wearing this basically for the last ever since I got it, like 10 days ago. Anyway, can't tell me nothing. In 3, 2, 1, and. Wait till I get my money right. La 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 la. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. I know it's something of a rarity for me to do rap songs on this channel, but my goodness, just if I had to be completely honest with you guys, and you know what, I have this policy where if I wasn't honest with you, then I would just straight up stop doing this, because I don't like the idea of pandering to people to just say what people expect to hear, or rather what they'd like to hear. I tell them exactly what they should hear, because what they're about to hear is my take, my opinion. It's always what it's always been about. And music is like one of those things where anyone can have their opinion, anyone can say something slaps, something gets knocked, something just... There's too many great ways to describe music, and there's too many great ways to talk about music, and there's also too many ways to play and be a part of it all. So, the first thing I just want to straight up say is that there are many songs out there in which they talk about like upbringing, and they talk about how they got started from the bottom, now we're here. But I think why I like Kanye's Kanye's sort of journey more than anything is because I think the idea is that the way he sort of like, with I don't know how much influence he has with the music, but I liked it. It has a very soulish beat. It's the sort of thing you just absolutely could just turn on in a car, and you could drive down a motorway for possibly hours. You want to know where that idea came from, ladies and gentlemen? It's not just because I think, honestly, I could just stick this in my radio and just drive, just to drive for hours on a cold, empty night. I think that's kind of like why I'm making this at night, because it's the sort of thing I feel like I could just play and be with myself, because of the line, what was it? I'm talking on TV like it's just you and me. I kind of like, I have a thing where it's not just rappers, but rock musicians. They include lines where they're not just talking for the sake of it. They are speaking to us. They're speaking to the one, the self. That's a big thing with me, because it's personal, it's one-to-one, and that's the thing I think makes this whole thing sound incredibly authentic, because I believe Kanye. I honestly, God, I believe in what he's telling us. And also, it's... Oh, God. Okay, back to what I was talking about, the idea of, like, driving down a motorway. For anybody out there who's ever seen the movie The Hangover, there's a scene where Bradley Cooper, Zach Galifianakis, and his two other pals, they're driving on their way to Vegas, and they played Can't Tell Me Nothing. And that's actually the first time I've ever heard that. It was like December 2010, if I remember correctly, but absolutely loved it. And I loved it to this very day, 11 years later. And it's not often I would like listen to like Kanye anyway nowadays, because I just like fell into metal and it gets in your blood, that sort of thing. Which is why it's a very big surprise that ever since I started like listening to Kanye and like looking into what he looks in terms of like value, in terms of what he wants to put on the radio, it's very surprising that he wanted to include some, like sort of like a rockish melody, because there is parts here I would say it's more like that. There's sort of like an emphasis. Well, I say emphases. I talk with so much emphasis. I think Kanye wrote that intentionally, knowing that maybe I would start doing that so much. Which is why I'm just gonna read the thing I just saw. Kanye said this is one of his favorite songs he's made. You know what? I honestly would believe that, because I think it's one of the best he's ever done. West also told Concrete Loop that he recognizes the appeal of the song. Well, I hope he does. He was the one behind it. I set out not to just make records that could loop hop off the radio instantly, but stuff that will speak to people. You know what? Again, some people might say that goes without saying, but I'm glad as hell that Kanye is actually saying, because I feel like in the past number of years, like when I stopped listening to like radio and pop music in general, there seems to be like a concerning trend of people just of doing jobs just to do them, and writing music and then performing it is a job in itself in a way. So it feels like they're doing it just to do it. Kanye, at least he's going out of his way to say, you know what, this is what I want to do because it's something that could change lives. It's something that can change the trajectory for the rest of the human race. And that's tough, as No Life Shaq would say. Has No Life Shaq actually ever talked about this song before? I'm gonna have to like look up his videos, man. I started watching like No Life Shaq again a few days ago. He hasn't changed a bit, and I kind of like that. In the same way I've like never changed. Let's see. But stuff that will speak to people. People still bring up spaceships to me, and people compare Can't Tell Me Nothing to spaceships, saying that it's a song that inspires them to go, that they are going to work. But the chords itself is like a Led Zeppelin rock melody. Yeah, you think it's made for the car and you think it's made for the club, and it works in the arena because DJ Toomp, Toomp, yeah, that's it, did the drums and all that. But the actual melody is made to rock 50,000 people. I'll give Kanye literally all the respect in the world, because bringing up Led Zeppelin at all, I think gets an extra boost as well. Because I didn't really want to like say anything, but you know what? When I look at all this, I feel as if like this is the sort of thing you would hear Roger Plant actually singing. I feel like Led Zeppelin could write something like that. Like, I had a dream I could buy my way. Well, okay, that's literally the very last time you ever hear me trying to do a Robert Plant impression. But I wonder if just I wonder specifically like what song from Zeppelin Kanye had in mind if he wanted to do a rock melody. And at the same time, I kind of also wonder if he because I know fine well he did 21st Century Schizoid Man using excerpts from the King Crimson song. But what other like supergroups out there, and what other like real... That's the thing I kind of like want to really go into. What else? Because that's a very, very interesting idea to like... It's like it's not really like new to say you were inspired by this, and this. But I think it's really something when you really want to... Well, I want to know what specific sort of Led Zeppelin song he's on about. I also want to know exactly what kind of... If he likes much anything else from King Crimson. Because I'm going to level with you right now, ladies and gentlemen. I've actually never listened to Stairway to Heaven. Because I'm saving that for a very special occasion. Because it's set... I've heard many... Well, I've just heard it's like one of the greatest songs of all time. So I want to be able to actually test that theory. So you might be looking forward to seeing me finally talk about that in the future. But anyway, getting back to Kanye for 1 second, let's just talk through the song, because I had a dream I could buy my way to heaven. When I awoke, I spent that on a necklace. I love the idea that you have like visions of grandeur, but then you wake up, the reality sets in, and you realize, well, that seems almost impossible. So you know what? Spend it on something that's, is going to bring you happiness, or rather something that's going to make you feel like you exemplify your wealth. You do that, and well, that seems it seems like that's what matters more than anything. Because the thing is that I had a dream. And without wanting to compare Kanye West to like from Les Miserables to 1 Second, he started the song by saying he had a dream. That's strangely enough. That feels like strangely enough a lot more special and personal. Like, again, he's just straight up telling us, I had a dream I could buy my way to heaven, and when I told God I'd be back in a second. Man, it's so hard not to act reckless. Going back on his word against God, and he realizes that it's so hard not to act reckless, meaning that obviously he's reckless with money. That's what it's like. But to whom much is given, much is tested. Get arrested, guess yes until you get the message. Constantly saying you're going to redeem yourself, you're going to do something grand, and then you screw up over and over and over again because you're stuck in your ways, or you fail to acknowledge that you can actually do something as insane as buying your way to heaven. I feel the pressure under more scrutiny, and what I do, act more stupidly. You don't help your situation. And I don't know technically whether or not this is like referring to like Kanye's like upbringing or where he was in a certain state of mind where he realized he's got to get his act together, because Can't Tell Me Nothing really is a song about getting your act together and then suddenly realizing that, you know what, think about where you are right now and think about how easy it maybe it wasn't as easy for Kanye, because I don't know, you think it's easy to rap, you think it's easy to sell multi-platinum albums every single year, you think it's easy to do that. If you think it is, go right ahead, but it's not easy. I'm telling you now, it's not easy. That's all I'm going to say about it. Because I never tried to do stuff like that, but you know what? Because I'm not a rapper, and it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Bought more jewelry, more Louis V. My mama couldn't get through to me. The drama, people suing me. I'm talking on TV like it's just you and me. Like he's talking to. Now I wonder if that's meant to be like a metaphor for something else as well. I'm on TV talking like it's just you and me. Maybe he's talking to somebody, maybe a priest, for example. Maybe he's redeeming himself, because Kanye like mentions God and a lot in his songs. I've just sort of like picked up. So maybe Kanye just he's trying to look for ways to change his life, and maybe that's just the first sign there that he's going to learn from his ways, is to recognize where he went wrong, but then he's going to do something else, and that's stupid enough. I ain't one of the Cosbys, I ain't go to hell, man. I guess the money should have changed him. I guess I should have forgot where I came from. But at the same time, you know what? Whether you could say it changed him, or rather he just simply decided to move on with his life. That's what's intriguing about that is that he's still it's not so much that he isn't the same person as before, but rather he's just out of a different place, maybe a place that didn't understand him. And now he's in a place where people can understand perhaps his way of thinking, and maybe even the way he would produce music. Maybe that's the way you want to go about it. And then I love the excuse me, was you saying something? You can't tell me nothing. He suddenly realized that, you know what, he's in a better place, and he doesn't need, constantly people, hating on him and stuff like that. He's found his ideal place, because it was that he actually got through, and he actually had things to say, and he actually had a lot to do. Because bear in mind, this is on his third album, so you kind of have to wonder about how his life skyrocketed after his first two albums, and I wonder if that sort of gave him time to consider and think about stuff like that. Because on Can't Tell Me Nothing, there are two other songs that I definitely know are on here. One is called Good Morning, which is largely about Kanye just sort of like getting ready to do something amazing, like graduating, for example. And because I haven't seen the music video for that since 2009 as well. And then there's also Stronger as well, which is just it's a cult classic from many Kanye fans, and it's also another message of how Kanye's life has changed and how he's grown up, he's gotten older, and he's realized exactly what he's capable of and what he's actually done. It's not arrogance, it's that he's proud of what he's accomplished. Let up the suicide doors, this is my life, homie, you decide yours. I know that Jesus died for us, but I couldn't tell you who decide wars. I couldn't tell you who decide. That's like Gerard Butler stuff there. That is absolutely. It's like either Black Sabbath or maybe even something that maybe Cream would probably write about. Fitting, really. This is almost like the cream of the crop when it comes to like Kanye stuff. And whether or not there's like much better stuff out there, I'll have to keep an eye out, because I know Mercy is quite a popular one, but I don't think it's as good compared to Can't Tell Me Nothing. And then this is just like one of my favorite ones, is that old folks talking about back in my day, but homie, this is my day. Class started 2 hours ago. Oh, am I late? No, I already graduated, and you can live through anything if magic made it. They say I talk with so much emphasis. Ooh, they're so sensitive. Don't ever fix your lips like collagen. And say something, you're going to end up apologizing. Let me know if it's a problem then. Alright then, holla man. He's realised, well, it's like he's come across more people who's just straight up telling him that his style is like too out there, and because Kanye starts off with something that is a bit out there, that, well, certainly from the way I look at it anyway. And then he's just straight up like, all right, holla man, he's out of here. He hasn't got time for that. He's moving on with his life. Like I said that again, but he is, and he's on to greener pastures, you might say. And then it's sort of like he's got into straight up just showing off exactly what his life is now like. Let that man get past. He don't even stop to get gas. If he can move through the rumors, he can drive off the fumes, cause how he move in a room full of no's, how he stay faithful in a room full of hoes. Because Kanye, I imagine, is just far better than that, to be honest. Kanye, the way he writes and the way he delivers, I honestly think Kanye has it. I got like this thing in my ears that I think just Kanye isn't go. It's like he's, like you said from the beginning of the song, he's like learning from from the mistakes he made, and he's not going to go down that down that road. Must be the pharaohs in a tomb with his soul, so when he buried in a tomb full of gold. Treasure, what's your pleasure? Life is depending how you dress her. And also just, I love this last part, is that, so if the devil wear Prada, Adam Eve wear nada, I'm in between but way more fresher. He's a lot of biblical talk as well. That's kind of funny. With way less effort, because when you try hard, that's when you die hard. You homies looking like, why God? Then they reminisce over you, my God. It's now Kanye's almost like bringing it back to the place where it almost all began. So he's wondering, what on earth? What can they possibly be thinking of him now? Probably the people who let him go, or the people that are still there and he's still close with. It's and also just the serious the last part at the end. I'm serious. I got money, and I honestly feel as if like this last part was just like a message Kanye just wanted to say, because he told us you can't tell him nothing anymore because he's got it. He should be the one telling us that they can't tell us nothing. I still honestly, just in my opinion, this is just like, it is still, in my opinion, the best Kanye song he's done. Unless, of course, I find something else that slaps harder. But more than that, Kanye has just this wonderful, wonderful way of. It's just the way he writes it, the way he delivers it, and the fact that, from my perspective, it's just, I believe his sincerity. Kanye is incredibly sincere, so What can you do, eh? And that's all I gotta say about that, so let's go with it. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed Can't Tell Me Nothing by Kanye West. Please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys thought of Kanye for yourselves. And I cannot wait to see all of you guys again in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye for now.